10 interesting climate change facts you will want to hear. We are already seeing the effects of climate change, but thankfully, the planet has a powerful tool for climate stabilization: nature itself. Nature conservation today means a better planet for future generations. Long-term changes in temperature and weather patterns are referred to as climate change. These shifts may be natural, but human activities have been the primary driver of climate change since the 1800s, primarily due to the combustion of fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat-trapping gases. In this video, we will talk about 10 climate change facts that will blow your mind. Before we get started, please help support this channel by subscribing to stay up with our latest releases of interesting facts. Fact number 1, we are certain we caused this. How can we be so sure? It took some time, but climate modeling is now refined enough to predict how things would unfold in the absence of human intervention, with a margin of error. What we are seeing today, however, is outside of that margin of error, proving that we are driving the change. Fact number 2, the last decade was the hottest in 125,000 years. The most straightforward of our climate change facts, the last decade is likely to have been the hottest period in the last 125,000 years, according to the IPCC's 6th assessment report on the state of our climate. For approximately 100,000 years, we have alternated between glacial and warmer interglacial periods, such as the one we are currently experiencing. Nonetheless, this is the warmest multi-century period in recorded history. Fact number 3, the ocean absorbs most of the heat we produce. According to a 2019 study, the oceans absorbed 90% of the heat gained by the planet between 1971 and 2010. Another study discovered that it absorbed 20 sextillion joules of heat in 2020, which is the equivalent of 2 Hiroshima bombs per second. Because the ocean has enormous volume and heat storage capacity, some organisms are accustomed to relatively stable temperatures. Coral reefs are particularly sensitive to temperature changes, which is why many are dying off. Fact number 4, CO2 is at its highest in 2 million years. CO2 levels pre-industrial were around 280 parts per million. Today, we are nearing 420 parts per million. The most distant time period for which we have estimated CO2 levels is around 500 million years ago, during the Ordovician period. The ocean comes to our aid once more, absorbing roughly 1/3 of the carbon in the atmosphere. It was a source of carbon before the Industrial Revolution, not a sink, but the massive amount of CO2 now in the atmosphere has forced it to begin absorbing the gas. Fact number 5, we are losing 1.2 trillion tons of ice each year. This fact on our list of climate change facts can be difficult to grasp because we are dealing with a magnitude beyond our comprehension. We've lost approximately 28 trillion tons of ice since the mid-1990s, with the current melt rate standing at 1.2 trillion tons per year. To put that in context, the total weight of all human-made things is 1.1 trillion tons. That is roughly the weight of all living things on Earth. Fact number 6, air pollution is both good and bad. It was recently discovered that air pollution kills over 9 million people each year. Poor air quality will plague developing hotspots in South Asia and Africa for years to come, but there is a silver lining. Some have proposed intentionally disseminating particles into the atmosphere to help reflect more sunlight, but this has been ruled out due to the possibility of unintended consequences. Fact number 7, attribution is now possible. Extreme weather. We can now confidently attribute natural disasters to human-caused climate change. This wasn't always the case, as a lack of data and refined attribution techniques made it difficult to determine how much we had to do with each extreme weather event. We can now say with certainty how much more likely we made things like the North American summer 2021 heatwave, which the World Weather Attribution says would have been virtually impossible without climate change, and the Indian heatwave, which experts believe was made 30 times more likely by clim. Fact number 8, global warming is partially reversible. If global net emissions were completely eliminated, the warming we've caused would gradually reverse, but other climate-related changes would last for decades, if not centuries. For example, sea level rise would most likely take millennia to reverse. Fact number 9, we lost 302 billion work hours to excessive heat in 2019. If you've ever been to humid Southeast Asia on a hot August day, you'll know that working outside with shade is nearly impossible, and working without is dangerous. According to a Lancet report, the number of work hours lost due to heat increased from 199 billion in 2000 to 295 billion in 2020. That equates to 88 hours of work per employed person. Fact number 10, it could become too hot to live in many places by the end of the century. This could be the most disastrous of our climate change facts. Currently, only 0.8% of the planet's land surface has mean annual temperatures above 29 degrees Celsius, with the majority of this occurring in the Sahara Desert and Saudi Arabia. Lost work hours are only one example of the consequences of prolonged exposure to extreme heat. Other factors include decreased agricultural yields, the spread of disease-carrying mosquitoes, and the increased demand for air conditioning, which requires more energy. Climate change is an incredibly complex phenomenon, and there are many other things happening that were not covered. If you want to learn more, please do your own due diligence. There you have 10 climate change facts. I hope you found this useful. If you did, make sure to like it and leave us a comment below.